yesterday I was at the online local U that does all the local search stuff, and Google Analytics. You know, it's like I think I know a lot about Google Analytics, and then I hear some of these two, I'm like, oh. So anyway, I know a lot more than I did a year ago. So one of the things, so a lot of times I'll set up a goal, like if it's contact us, and once they get to the thank you page, that's like a goal, and I set up the thank you page as a separate URL.
Right. One
of the things that they were saying, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this or checked on this, but you know how people keep tabs open? That they said that sometimes people, if you do that, they may keep a tab open. So and I haven't had that come up because I noticed that however many it says it goes through, I usually have that many people that have scheduled appointments.
Right.
So I guess, anyway, your thoughts on that, David?
Yeah, no, I have one client in particular, and I swear a dozen people have done that because I get a ton of leads. And if 1% of people do it, boy, does that throw off the numbers.
Yeah.
So what I have to do is go into Google Analytics and say, goals that executed from, I forget, it's like there's a filter I created to weed it out, because it's like, if you set up, hold on, let me see if I can replicate it.
Well, and I don't know that I necessarily need to know. So if it comes, I just was wondering how common it was.
So I keep an eye on it, because one of the things I'm always checking every month is how many leads clients got, right? Yeah. I want to make sure that that's doing it. And sometimes I'll be like, wow, look at how many leads this clinic got this month. And so look and see what worked, what was great. Well, then you're like, oh crap, that someone has a tab open somewhere, right? Like I worked with a guy, he had so many tabs open, he couldn't close them because all the X's were
you couldn't
hidden. He couldn't use his mouse to click the X. Besides the fact that it would have taken him hours to sit there and go click, 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 close all the tabs. At one point, because one of the things he would do every month is test confirmation pages.
Oh my gosh.
Tabs alone were generating leads for clients.
Oh my gosh.
And so we actually went into his computer when he was out for lunch. We set the setting on his browser to delete all the tabs upon reopen. He got back and was mad.
I was gonna say, I bet he was mad.
But the fact is he never could even get to these old tabs.
I was gonna say, if he couldn't
even get to them. So he's mad because I lost all this stuff. We're like, but you couldn't even get it.
I guess reach it. So was he just using one tab, and then if he would get to something, open it in a new, and then like be
he just, whatever neurons were crossing his head, he couldn't do it. So we actually kept going into his computer when he was out, and we kept changing the settings to delete his browser, remembering all the tabs every time he opened and closed his browser.
So basically you were getting a text, he's gone to lunch, do it now.
Do it now, right. We would do it because he was so bad about it.
Oh my word.
But yeah, that is one of the downfalls, right?
Okay.
And so some people will say, well, that because of that, you shouldn't use confirmation page. Well, I'd say, well, either way, like if we do events, those can have false negatives too.
Yeah,
This is why in the universal analytics data, even I think in the class, it even explicitly said, we're giving you goals, submissions of forms and stuff like that. Don't treat these as real numbers. Treat these as trends and opportunities. So even Google Analytics acknowledged that this is not, just because it said 5 doesn't mean you got 5.
Yeah.
Maybe you got more, maybe you got less, but use it to compare against itself, and you're going to end up being able to, because you set up the events, there's all kinds of things that could go wrong there. There could be a JavaScript code error That's not throwing the event, right? There could be a plugin on your browser that's conflicting with the JavaScript that would not throw the event. And you can't really guarantee it either way.
Yeah.
I just do it because I think it's a better user experience of reassuring me that I have done something. But I acknowledge when I report to my clients, when I say that you got 50 leads last month, I don't really know if you got 50. I know you got around 50. You probably got 45 to 55.
Mm-hmm.
But is that good or bad? Well, we'll compare it to last month, or compare it to the same month last year. Now we know whether that's good or bad. Not, because if you can drive yourself crazy going through, and I've had clients do it. Well, they go through and try to count for every lead submitted by every goal in Google Analytics to line things up. Hey, I that's great. That's the kind of data you need. But
yeah, but how much is it worth as far as time wise?
3 leads.
Yeah.
Well, that's okay. If you're talking 50 and you missed 3, okay, well, that's disappointing, but Google Analytics would even tell you this is not necessarily a guarantee of the number of submissions of your form.
Yeah.
And besides, most like WordPress sites with Gravity forms or Ninja forms will record all of the submitted forms anyway, right? It just doesn't attribute source to it, which is what Google Analytics does. So yeah, that's true, but things go wrong either way. So what?
Yeah. Okay.
But that's hello.